Ukraine's president-elect says the men responsible for killing a Ukrainian general and 13 other soldiers will not go unpunished. Their helicopter was shot down near the eastern city of Slovyansk on Thursday. Now, separatist fighters say they used machine guns in the attack, but the government says their weapons were much more advanced air defense missiles. Well, let's get the latest now from David Chater. He's in Donetsk for us. So, David, what is happening there?
Well, the latest developments are that the acting defense minister in Kiev has been saying the operation will continue with full force here on the eastern front of the country, and that they have effectively cleared the south of the city and the west of the city of Donetsk of what they call rebel fighters. But as we saw in the downing of the helicopter, the military helicopter, it does appear now that there are new weapons and very sophisticated weapons in the hands of the separatist fighters. So let's take a look at what's been happening over the last 24 hours.
As fighting intensified on Ukraine's eastern front, a show of force in Donetsk. A column of heavily armed separatist fighters deployed to the self-declared republic's biggest city to shore up defences. But the biggest blow against the Ukrainian army's offensive came in the city of Slovyansk, 160 kilometers from the Russian border, where a shoulder-launched surface-to-air missile brought down a military helicopter. Among the 14 soldiers confirmed killed, a senior army general, the highest-ranking casualty in the uprising so far. Back in Donetsk, office workers were forced out of a regional administration building by a large force of separatist fighters, including scores of Chechen volunteers.
We were told there were marauders here, so we came to clear out the building.
Within minutes, though, they had started to strengthen the defences around the building and bulldozing some of the barricades to create a free fire zone. They were well equipped with armour-piercing rockets and deployed an AK gun capable of taking down a helicopter gunship. If the Ukrainian army does press home an attack in the city, this will be one of their main targets.
The Russian Foreign Ministry in Moscow has issued a statement demanding that the Ukrainian government halt its military offensive to avoid a catastrophe. But the military momentum is building here. It's going to be hard to stop.
The Al Jazeera team were welcomed inside the building and given a tour by the fighters. It was a stark contrast to earlier in the day. We attempted to film a convoy of 8 heavily laden military vehicles heading into the city from the direction of the Russian border. Within seconds, we were surrounded by a very professional team of fighters in camouflage combat fatigues and balaclavas, who aimed their Kalashnikovs at us and took away our camera.
David, what is known about these rebel fighters? There seems to be much talk about a Chechen connection to all of this.
Well, yes, it's been true. I was with the Chechens in the building behind me yesterday when they cleared it of the office workers and strengthened its defences. There's absolutely no doubt they are from the North Caucasian country of Chechnya. Now, apparently, the president of Chechnya, Ramzan Kadyrov, has said that he didn't order the volunteers to go in. They simply went of their own accord. Now, these are men hardened in urban warfare. I was with them in the first Chechen war when they were fighting the Russians, and I can tell you they really will have strengthened the positions here. They are skilled in the black art of urban warfare. But as to exactly what else is happening in the city, we've been touring the checkpoints, and there's no doubt that now they've got fresh Kalashnikov rifles, they've got new pistols, they look like they've been coming straight out of the factory. So supplies are getting in here, and this is what's worrying to the US Secretary of State, John Kerry. Let's hear what he has to say about it.
There is evidence of Russians crossing over, trained personnel from Chechnya, trained in Russia, who've come across to stir things up, to engage in fighting. We hope the Russians would actually engage more proactively in efforts to now try to de-escalate, take advantage of the election, build a road forward where Ukraine becomes a bridge between the West and the East.
The new president-elect in Kiev has said they will continue with the military mission here, but this is not going to be like the fight we saw at the airport just outside this city at the beginning of the week, where they killed and injured scores of the separatist fighters. This is a much more difficult situation. They are in the middle of a million-strong city, a million people here, too many civilians around this sort of area, and the targets that the Ukrainian special forces will have to get for them to use the sort of tactics we saw at the airport. It's going to have to be a case, perhaps, of negotiation, and that's certainly what the Russians want.
David Chater, thank you very much.